listening today. And I want you to go ahead and type in the chat, like Joni was saying earlier. And I want to know what kind of clients do you work with the most? And go ahead and type in the chat. Do you work with budget clients? Are they mid-range, or they're already into that luxury space? Or do you have a mix? So budget, maybe a mid-range client, they're into the luxury already, or you have a mix of all of these. I just want to get a pulse check of kind of where your clients are today and what kind of business you're obtaining as well.
Okay, great. We're getting some answers here, Calvin, and I just want to make sure. Okay, you just moved. I want to make sure your slides are moving. Like we had that trouble last time, so I just wanted to double check, and it did move. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read some of these to you. Mix of mid-range to luxury, mix mid-range to upper, mid-range luxury, depending, of course, on clients. Luxury mid-range. Right now, all-inclusive and cruises are mid-range. A lot of mix. Let's see, Gen X looking to level up. That's a good answer. Okay, and somebody mentioned that your chat is not working. Yeah, that's because you need to put it where you just put it in the questions area. So you're all good. Just put your answers in there. Okay. Yeah, that's so it's a kind of a mix, mid-range to upper in a mix. So does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm glad that I'm hearing that we have a good mix of travel when it comes to luxury, somewhere in that mid-range to luxury, and there's a good mix because I think that's important, right? You never want to kind of cater to one side of the business. You want to have a nice full mix of clients. I always believe that it's not every day that you sell luxury, but it's every day that you sell some of the other mass market products that are out there, and that gives you that cash flow that you need for your business. And it's always nice to have these upscale and these unique opportunities where you can sell a little bit of luxury, which strengthens your business a lot more. And so, when you're looking at this slide here now, the way that I position it is that when you have these type of clients, right, obviously it's higher revenues for your business. You have some more loyalty when it comes to it. It strengthens your business, right? Because, you have that steady cash flow from all of the other market products that are out there. But then it strengthens your business because you have these higher end products that you're selling to your clients, and that kind of builds up the business, right? It fills up those other spaces in between the business that are some of the needs that you need as well. So, the way that I put it here as an example, a client who once booked an economy trip has a growing interest in a personal service, a unique experience, or they're ready for some of a luxury experience. So, recognize those potentially early. You have those occasional travelers, and I think it's important to kind of really focus on that. When it comes to this example that I'm giving you guys, I want you to think about this for a minute. Not everybody was born into luxury. We all started somewhere, right? And if I were to give you my journey, when I started in this industry about 23 years ago, I didn't know anything about this industry. I wasn't born into luxury, but I started learning and I started experiencing travel with me and my family, and little by little we started graduating as consumers in this industry, and we started seeing other opportunities that we felt like, wow, these are other things that are available to us, and it exposed us to all of these unique experiences that we didn't see before because we were just getting into all of this and into this travel space. And don't get me wrong, my mom took me to some really nice vacations when I was younger, but I really got to see it more as I started building my family and I started getting more into this business and working in this business. I was able to really experience and see some of the differences that are available when it comes to to this traveling, right? So what are the things that you should watch for, right? So income level, travel frequency, interest of exclusive experiences, and willingness to invest in comfort, right? So, you know, not every guest is fit for luxury, and that's okay. But some of the they're hiding in plain sight, right? They don't realize that they're ready, and that's some of the clients that we talk to today. They don't realize in them, and I think some of the things that you should all consider and are key indicators when you're talking to your clients is number one, they had a life milestone change. And what I mean by this, do they have a honeymoon coming up? Is there an anniversary? Are they empty nesters? Are they retired? Right? These are some of the things that you should definitely be looking at when you're talking to your clients if they're ready for the next right step into luxury, right? Number two, career-based shifts. So when I started in the industry 23 years ago, I started on the phones in the call center, taking calls for all of you amazing travel partners. And so I grew as an individual, and my journey grew into this leadership position. But it all didn't start at the very top, right? I had to work my way up the ladder. And so when you have a client that maybe had a promotion or a bonus, or maybe they're business owners of their own business, these are some key indicators where you can be like, I think this is the right fit traveler that may be ready for that next step, right? Number three that you have to consider as well is behavior clues. And what I mean by this is, are the clients asking for upgrades? So, when you're talking to your client, you're offering them a particular vacation that they're looking at. Are they asking for certain vacation opportunities within that travel space that you're booking for them? Is there an upgrade opportunity? Are they asking for a smaller group experience? These are some key indicators that you should definitely pick up on. Is there a special experience that they're looking at? Maybe they're traveling to a particular destination and they want to dine and have dinner at someone's home, and that's a huge experience for them that really kind of puts them into the culture of the location that they're experiencing. And I've seen this more and more each day is some of these homes that are open to folks being able to walk in and actually have the homeowner cook a meal for them, and that's an experience, and that's luxury, right? In the beholder's eyes. To me, that would be an experience that I would definitely want to be a part of. Maybe they're looking for something different this time, right? So that could be another indicator that you can keep an eye. And the last one here that I kind of want to point out is they may book, 3 or 4 vacations a year. And if you think about it, those add up. So, excuse me. So, when you're thinking about the next right traveler and looking at some of these opportunities, think about it. Graduating to luxury isn't always about a big step or a leap, right? Sometimes it's just about shifting the way your clients think about, value and their investment in their vacation, right? So these are some of the things that you should definitely consider. One quick tip that I want to kind of give you all is, when you look at your last 10 bookings, right? Is there anyone that's spending 8,000 or more in their vacation? If that's the case and it's non-luxury trip, keep that in mind, then that's a candidate to be able to elevate to the next level, right? So if you're booking someone in that price range, 8K or more, that might be someone that you should definitely look into for the next phase in their vacationing. Um, and I'm a big believer in discovery calls. Your clients change over time. Their vacation patterns change over time. And I think it's important that you should always be discovering your client and having those discovery calls. And I think that's important because you'll uncover so many opportunities that you'll be able to gain from these phone calls and kind of talk through some of those preferences that maybe they're looking to change in their travel behavior and how they're vacationing with their families or maybe solos or whatever it may be. But I think it's an opportunity that everyone should be doing at some point in your customer's journey on their vacationing, right? So that's how you can definitely indicate some of the things. Now, I want to take another pause here and ask another question, and I want you to take a moment to think about this one. Can you picture one or two clients in your database right now who might be ready for a more premium experience? Just answer yes or no. I just want to get a pulse check to see how well or how well are you all seeing some of these clients in your database? Can you really see some of them already, vision them during this webinar so far, from what I've gone over so far in this webinar? Just a simple yes or no in the chat would be amazing, just to get a nice little pulse check on that.
Okay, folks, here we are. Do have a question for you, Calvin, that if you don't mind answering it while we're gathering this. Somebody did ask, when you talked about the $8,000, they specifically wondered if you meant per person or per booking or whatever. So I just wanted to ask that before we went on to this part.
Yeah, I would definitely, I would think of it as a per booking for right now. Obviously, a per person would be ideal because then you'll really know that they're ready for that next step. But for me, it was more of a booking, and I know that there's some mass market trips out there that you can easily they can easily get up to 8,000 for two people, right? So, and I get that, right? So there's some premium more products out there in that mass market area where 8,000 could be the norm. So, you know,
Okay.
if you have that, that may be a direction that you can take, but you know, 8,000 per person, then that's another level for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. So the majority of people have written in that yes, a few said no, they don't think so, but some of them say yes, I think so, yes, yes, yes. And, you know, that's kind of where they're at. So I think that, you know, it's kind of a mix of the two. I think we all want it, but it's whether or not they know they can graduate them or not. And then just clarifying, Calvin, as well, you're still on that second slide, right? You haven't moved on past that.
Correct. I'm going to the third one now. Engaging
Okay, I just want to make
clients.
sure I want to double check to make sure we don't have that problem again this time. Okay, awesome. So that's pretty much it. Yes, I think, and hoping to would be the best answers.
Okay, good. Well, dig into that database of clients for sure. I'm sure you'll be able to find some nuggets in there that you can definitely start having those conversations with and start thinking about what's the next step for them, truly. So now that you've got to this point, right? You've identified a few of those potential clients. You found those little nuggets within your database. Maybe it's some that are repeat clients of yours. So how does that conversation start shifting, right? And I think that a lot of times we get these objections in sales, and I've been in sales for a very long time. And so I can tell you that there's always an objection in a lot of things that we do or we offer. And so, you know, one of the things that may come up is, you know, maybe they tell you they're not interested, right? They're like, this is not the right fit for me. But you know, a good thing would say, a good rebuttal would be, you know, why would you be interested in seeing what this upgraded version could be like, right? So identifying that, hey, I get it. Maybe you're not ready right now. Let me give you some options, but I really want you to see what that looks like and how that upgrade version could really transform your vacation to the next level, right? And I always think about using some aspirational language. And what I mean by that is using words like curated, immerse, exclusive, behind the scenes. Trying to use those unique words when you're talking to your clients just elevate you to the next level and truly makes them understand that this is something that's different, that they're not used to, and puts you as a professional on another level, right? Because now you're speaking a different lingo or language to them. And so, just keep in mind, you're not selling them on price. You're offering them a smoother, more richer, more meaningful experience. Something that they're going to remember forever, because we are in the business of, as our president here at TPI always says, Jen Lee, she says, we're always trying to work on getting these people out of their homes and getting them into a vacation. And so our jobs here as professionals is trying to get as many of these folks out of their homes and traveling and creating amazing and memorable vacations. And so if we can tailor that to them and offer those unique, rich experiences, just puts us to the next level. But I want you to position yourself when you're having these conversations with your clients, and I want you to feel confident, right? I don't want you to sound like a coordinator. You guys are all professionals. You guys kind of get the drift behind all of this, but I want you to sound very confident. If there's something that maybe you're not the expert at, take the time to study, to learn. We're all learning as we go in life, and I think that if you take the time and the opportunity to be able to learn these experiences that you're not used to, how much more valuable would you be to your clients, right? So take that time, even if it's in the morning before you kick off the day, or maybe later in the evening when things slow down. Take that time and learn a little bit more about that particular experience that will take you to the next level, will take your client to the next level. And I think that that's something that you should definitely think about. The other thing I want you to position yourself with is, I want you to share your stories of past clients that had these experiences, right? We are storytellers in this business, and it's something that you should definitely always take advantage of. Storytelling is so important. If you are into social media, how important is social media today, right? And how much storytelling is. It's not about just posting a picture on social media and trying to think that you're going to get clients. People want to see these experiences, these stories. People want to see you traveling to these destinations and sharing your story, your journey with them, right? And so if you can share that with them, if it's a past client or if it's you, with these type of experience, that's just going to take you to the next level. The other part of positioning yourself in this space is to work with the supplier, the DMC, and have that relationship. That way you have that insider access. I am such a big fan of relationships. We are in a relationship business, right? So I think that if you really want to book Oceana Cruise, a Seabourn, Silver Seas, just to throw out some names, you need to work with those BDMs, with those suppliers, with those DMCs, and start making those relationships. Don't wait. Be proactive. If they haven't reached out to you, you reach out to them, tell them that you want to start building some business, and I'm sure they will all be open to helping you grow your business in that particular luxury space. And they'll give you a lot of the insights that will be 100% helpful for you to be able to pass that along to your clients. So, I want you to be confident in this space. I want you to be, you feel that you own this and that you feel confident when you're speaking to your clients. And don't treat this as something normal. I want you to start treating it like it's the way to go all the time. So, one other question. I'm full of questions here today, guys, and I just want this session to be as interactive as possible. But yes or no, in the chat, do you currently send two options when quoting, a standard option and a premium version? And I just want to get a feel for that because some advisors may just quote or send a quote for one particular option and it's a done deal. So I kind of want to get an idea of how you guys are sending these quotes to your clients. Do you send one? Do you send two? Yes or no? Do you send more? Do you send
Okay.
two options?
We've got a few different kinds of answers. We've got a lot of yeses and we got some nos. Somebody mentioned no, I send the first one and the best we modify from there if need be. Somebody says it's a great idea. Thanks for that idea. So a little bit of somebody here sends three. They said one of
Okay.
them is one below price, one at price, and one above price. Interesting. Okay. So anyway, it's kind of a mixed bag on the answers on that one.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? That's I think that's respectful in their cases. My personal opinion on it is that you should definitely be at least minimum sharing two quotes. Maybe if they're looking at a particular option, like for example, I'll give you a big example here. So let's say they're sailing on Royal Caribbean, right? And maybe Royal Caribbean is not considered a luxury brand, but they are a mass market cruise line, right? So maybe your client is looking at an interior cabin as an option, but I would definitely give them the second option as a balcony. And I think that we all know, or who have sailed on cruises before, know that once you go to a balcony, you don't go back. And I learned that myself because when I first started sailing on cruise ships, I would think, oh, an interior, I'm going to be going around the ship and I won't be in my cabin. That's not the case. You really do truly enjoy your cabin. So, and it's so nice to be able to go out to your balcony and have a cup of coffee, read a book, enjoy the beautiful views in your own space, right? So I think that when you're quoting, definitely think of two options minimum. You don't want to get to too many because you don't want to confuse your client. Then that kind of is a turnoff in a way where they're going to have to really think about this. So, at least two minimum, maybe something where they were interested in, and then give them that second option where it takes them to the next level. And then that could be luxury to them, right? So I said that at the beginning, luxury could be different to the beholder. And so maybe that interior in that Royal Caribbean cruise is going to be totally different than that balcony on Royal. So just to point that out, and I think that will definitely help set the stage when it comes to that. So as I move on to this next slide, right, and I want to kind of, let me see where I'm at here. So they're interested. Now we need to kind of keep them coming back to luxury, right? So always when you think about this, start with one tip or trip that you want to maybe kind of focus on building that luxury habit, right? So maybe you want to look at a river cruise or a private tour, a boutique hotel, a private excursion. These are kind of some of the things that you can kind of start focusing on, maybe baby steps when it comes to start positioning your clients with these type of vacations. Work with trusted partners, right? I kind of talked about that just a little while ago on the other slide. Talk to some of these partners that you can really get that angle and get those benefits where you can then offer that back to your client. And here's a great example I put here. Imagine offering a client a sunset yacht cruise instead of a group tour, right? So, more an immersed experience, a private wine tasting at an exclusive, winery. So these are some of the things that I want you to kind of start thinking about when you're looking to book your clients or they have an expectation of their travel. Start looking at maybe diving them into a little bit about what this can mean for the future for them, right? With these small little nuggets of experiences that will take them to the next level, and who knows, maybe they're booking something a lot bigger in the near future. You know, I always think is that you have to reinforce this with your clients. Keep that in mind always. Give them that taste. You don't want them to kind of go back with that experience. You want them to kind of move forward with that experience. So just keep talking to them, keep giving them that little bit of that experience. And one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to think about your last 5 trips that you sold, right? And was there an opportunity to level up or take that client to the next step, right? And what would you have done differently? Now, you don't need to answer this in the chat. I just want you to start thinking about, what are some of the bookings you've had in the past where there was an opportunity for you to maybe have taken those folks, your clients, to the next level. Maybe it's a private excursion, a service, private transfer, maybe instead of a group transfer. And could you have offered that to them and taken you up to the next level and giving them that particular experience? So I want you to kind of think about that as well, as we're going through this webinar today, because I want you to start thinking about that for the future. Have that in mind every time you're kind of talking to your clients, is what are some of the things that you can be offering them. They come to you with an idea, but what are some of the things that you can definitely say, all right, let me take you to the next level. Let me offer you this boutique experience. Let me offer you this immersive experience. Let me offer you this service that is going to take you to the next level, right? So I want you to start thinking about that. And again, going back to what I said, making this more of a norm for you, and start positioning that to your clients and giving them that elevated travel experience that they're looking for. So just a couple of things to think about. So when I come to my last few nuggets here of this amazing webinar, I hope that you all are enjoying. So let's kind of recap, right? So I want you to have a roadmap for graduating these clients into luxury, right? And I want you to really set some time to identify who's ready for more, right? Who are those clients that you can definitely look at in your database and say, I think I got a couple of folks here that I could definitely be able to talk to take them to the next level. Maybe reach out to them. Maybe they haven't called you and said, hey, we're ready for our next vacation. You be proactive and you reach out to them and just say, hey, you know what? I was thinking about you, from your last vacation that you booked with me, and I was thinking that maybe you should consider something like this for the next time, and start positioning them to start thinking of a more elevated experience when it comes to travel. I think that it's important that you engage, right? So engaging with them, being proactive, using those aspirational language and options, right? So use those words to be able to sell them on the idea, and give them the options, right? Don't just go with one option. If they're looking for that interior, go with a plan B with a balcony option as well, so that way they have an elevated experience. But not only that, but that would also give you more commission because it is a higher priced category as well. And you want to then, number 3, you want to elevate their experience and make them feel like luxury is the norm. So for those folks that are already selling luxury, you can maybe then take them to that next level. For those that are in that mid-range and are looking to take those clients to the next level, or maybe those folks that are more budget focused clients, you may want to take kind of look at them and say, hey, let's try this. Because I think that it's important that you encourage them and you start small, and you suggest an option, right? Don't go big, don't go hit a home run right off the bat, but start positioning these small ideas to them so that way they can start getting a feel for what this looks like when it comes to vacationing with them and their family, or individually as a solo, but start kind of thinking about that. And I was at one of our events the other day, and I was listening to one of the suppliers, and one of the suppliers was like, hey, we have a women's only packages that are only for women. This is something unique. This is, I would consider luxury, right? And I think that those are some of the nuggets that you should be definitely kind of looking at when it comes to your clients. And you'll know best your clients at the end of the day, so you'll kind of make that decision if that's something that would best fit them. But I encourage all of you to practice, learn, and continue to give these experiences to your clients, suggest it in every opportunity that you can, and then always, always, always start with something small first, and then grow from there and see what kind of options they'll be able to consider. So as I wrap up this webinar, I want to first to say that luxury isn't just a product, it's a feeling. And your job as travel advisor is to make that feeling possible, one client at a time, which is important. And so I want to thank you so much for allowing me to share this webinar with you all today, and I hope that these tips and suggestions take you to the next level and make you really look at these clients in a different way, and maybe really dig into that database and seeing where you can find those clients that may be interested in getting that next step in their experiences when it comes to vacationing. So thank you so much, and we are a go.
Okay, sounds good. So, Calvin, I am looking here at some of the thoughts that people had shared. Somebody says here, thank you so much. I'm always so interested and so focused on saving my budget travelers money. But on the flip side, I definitely need to be focused on offering luxury experiences to my higher budget clients. So they said, thank you for all these tips, which I agree. You've really gave some real life experience tips here, which have been awesome. Great suggestions, and everybody's very appreciative. I'm getting a ton of thank yous here for you. And somebody else said, I've learned not to prejudge people's bank account. Why that, I remember that when I used to sell travel. That was one of the things you kind of think everybody might be in your budget, at that particular moment in your life, but that's not necessarily where they're at, right?
Yeah, you never shop for your clients with your own wallet.
Exactly, exactly. Because mine, when I was a travel agent, wasn't very big, so I was tempting to, I was tempted to give them the least expensive option. So very important information to keep in mind. All right, so it looks like we're good. It looks like you pretty much just offered so many great tips that there aren't a lot of questions, because I think they all really just really gathered a lot of information. Everybody's been extremely attentive, which is wonderful. I did notice, Calvin, and I wanted to let you know that when we started the webinar, the intro for you, for some reason, did not record, but it did record the minute you started doing your presentation. So if you want me to, I can read your bio again, or if not, we'll just go ahead and go on to the prize questions.
No, that's fine. I think.
You sure? Okay, because I love sharing it, Well, everyone just has to tune in for the next one so that they can hear it. How's that sound?
Oh, why? Oh, because they weren't able to listen to it for the ones that are
Yeah, the
listening.
recording is, I'm recording this whole thing. They all heard it. Everybody that's on here heard it. So we're all good. It's a
Okay.
recorded webinar that they'll get, that people will listen to later that might not have your intro, but it has everything else in it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. No
Okay.
worries. It's all good.
All right. Just want to make sure. All right. So folks, let's go ahead and go from there and start to do our prizes. How does that sound, Calvin? Are you ready?
I'm ready. These are going to be two
Okay.
interesting questions.
All right, so I have two questions, folks. The first one is going to win some lucky person here a 30-minute phone consultation with Calvin. So as you can see after listening to this webinar, you definitely know how valuable his information is and how valuable 30 minutes time would be with him. So that's a very good prize. And the answer to this question is a little different because it's kind of there's a lot of different ways you could answer this question. So it's not like a one word answer. So I want y'all just to, type in quickly what you think might be, some of the things that will answer this question. And then I will go ahead and kind of scroll through them and randomly pick someone for this particular prize. So here we go. How do you identify? Oh, by the way, folks, you want to put your answers in the questions area that you've been typing in already, not the chat area, but in the questions area. So get ready. Here we go. How do you identify which clients are ready to graduate to luxury travel? Go.
It's a good question.
It is a great question. We're getting some great answers too. But I have to open them up. But all right, we've got a lot of great answers. I'm going to read through a few of them after I pick the winner for this, who seems to have, I think, the most thorough answer here for it. It kind of encompasses everything. So the winner is going to be Shelly Schubert. Shelly, congratulations. And I'm going to read what your answer was. And you will be getting a confirmation from him about doing your consultation, but I'm very happy that you won. And Shelly's answer was clients, questions, last trips, money spent. So that's a pretty good inclusive. A lot of people did mention, beginning asking about upgrades, and there were some great answers here. But I think that one pretty much all encompassed it. The actual answer to the question was start by looking for signs that clients want more personalized enhanced experiences. So maybe they're asking for upgraded rooms, private tours, or maybe asking for something unique to each trip. Reviewing their travel history and asking about their dream vacations can also help reveal that. So I think that was a great answer, Shelley. So thank you very much for participating. Everybody's been great here with great answers. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go to the next one. Now, this next winner is going to win a $50 Amazon gift card from Travel Professional News and the OG family. So get ready. This is another question similar to the last one. So answer accordingly. What is the best way to engage clients who might be hesitant about making the leap to luxury?
I want half of that gift card if anyone wins out there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, listen, Amazon days are over now. We got to wait for the next one, right? All right,
Yeah.
folks, pick the answer. Okay, they're coming in now. Okay, good answers. Great answers. Randomly picking, and I'm going to pick this because I really liked this part of the answer, and they're all really good, but I randomly think this is a very good answer to that question. So hold on, I got to write her name down so I don't forget where to send this gift card. Okay, the answer is from Beverly Vitching. And Beverly, she had only one piece of it, but the piece that really stuck out to me, which was discovery phone call. I loved that word discovery phone call when you shared that, Calvin. It just really prompted in my mind, yeah, that's really where you are finding things out, is by discovering, by asking the right questions, giving them a lot of options, presenting them with comparisons. So the correct answer to it is that, and building trust is essential. Emphasize extra value, folks, comfort and exclusivity, not just price. Share stories, testimonials, ask questions. So I thought that that was a really, really good answer to the question. So everybody, congratulations, folks, for our winners. And Calvin, thank you so much. This was fantastic. Yet again, you knocked it out of the park, dude.
No, I appreciate it. It's always rewarding to be able to jump in on these sessions and be able to share a little bit of my insight into the industry and be able to help other advisors gain some knowledge. We're all about learning, and I think it's important that we'll continue to learn, and truly appreciate everyone's time for joining us today. And it was always a pleasure to be able to be here with you as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Calvin. And everybody, you will receive an email tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon, and it will be coming with the recording links. So you can watch it again if you wanted to make notes about some of the slides that he had. And so you'll be all set for the next time. And we'll look forward to having you do our next one, Calvin. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
All right.
Truly, an honor always.
Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.